Commence with the name of Almighty Allah, the most gracious and merciful. Assalamu alaikum. I am Ali Hassan, a postgraduate and student of food science and technology. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Dr. Food Tea. Today, we will discuss another micronutrient, that is mineral. So let's start the topic. Minerals. Minerals are an inorganic element occurring in the form of their salt, calcium, phosphorus, sodium, iron. So they are required in small amounts in the body, but their presence is very vital for the body functions. Minerals are present in all body fluids and tissues. Minerals have two distinct characteristics. First of all, minerals are not the source of energy. They do not provide any sort of energy, but they are highly required for different metabolic activities that ultimately yield some energy. So they are also involved in some physiological activities. Secondly, minerals are not destroyed during food preparation. So these are two distinct characteristics which are associated towards minerals. So this is all about minerals. Here is one important thing to know about minerals is like they are not act singly in their function in the regulatory body processes, but they also work in coordination with other organic compounds or other some minerals. So this is an interesting fact about minerals, like they are not solely work for a specific function, but they work in collaboration with some organic or some their identical inorganic compound. So this is what the interesting fact about mineral is. Next we will see what is the classification of minerals. So there are two types of minerals, micro minerals and macro minerals. As the name indicating, macro minerals, these are the minerals which are required in the body in relatively large amounts, which are calcium, phosphorus and magnesium, while micro minerals are those which are required to the body in relatively small amounts as compared to macro one. So what are the minerals in micro minerals? These are iron, iodine, zinc and copper. So let's discuss all of them one by one. First of all, we have calcium. So first of all, in the calcium, it is mentioned, this word is derived from the Latin word that is calx, which means chalk, because the main source of calcium is white stone that we normally say name chalk or limestone. So that's why the word calcium derived from that word. Calcium is an inorganic mineral element. It is white substance which is stable to heat and light and dissolves in an acid medium. So these are some characteristics or properties relevant to our first mineral, that is calcium. Let's have a look on the table 4.15, elaborating sources, functions and deficiency of calcium. First of all, we will see what are the sources of calcium. So in sources, we have two main types, plants and animals. So in plants, green leafy vegetables, fenugreek, cloacea, cabbage, spinach, drumstick, mustard, nuts, ragi, dry fruit and palm. These are plant sources of calcium, while milk and milk products, cheese and small fishes are the animal sources of calcium. Now have a look what are the functions of calcium in our body. So first of all, calcium is important for formation of and maintenance of bones and teeth, because all whole body framework of human and other animals is made up of majorly like calcium compound, the major composition material or element is calcium. So this is a very important function of calcium in the body. Secondly, it is necessary for normal growth. It plays a vital role in mechanism of blood clotting. Yes, calcium is seen very effective for clotting process. So this is also the function of calcium. Next, needed for activation of many enzymes and secretion of hormones. So as we know, inorganic compounds have work in like many metabolic processes. Sometimes inorganic compounds, inorganic elements are required for activation of some enzymes or some other coenzymes. So they work like coenzymes or cofactor along with the main organic like factors which are enzymes. So this is another function of calcium. Fifth one is it has important role in regulation of cell permeability, thus control the uptake of nutrients by the cell. So the movement of materials across the cell membrane is also done due to some like salts which are sodium, calcium, potassium. So same like those one, calcium has also its contribution towards the regulation of materials across the cell membrane. Now we'll see what are the deficiency symptoms when there is calcium deficiency, like what are the diseases that can be experienced when someone is lacking calcium. So there are two main diseases: rickets and osteomalacia. Rickets is mostly seen in children, while osteomalacia is specifically for adults. Rickets: bones become soft and fragile, bowing of legs, knocked knees, enlargement of wrist, knees, and ankle joints. So these are some symptoms, deficiency symptoms of children that are affected with rickets. So this is like only due to like deficiency of the main mineral, that is calcium. The next one is osteomalacia, the deficiency disease in adults. So what are the symptoms of osteomalacia? These are softening of bones of leg, spine, thorax, and pelvis, which may bend and show deformities. And there is a general weakness also observed in the patients of osteomalacia. So this is all about the deficiency symptoms of calcium. Our next inorganic mineral is phosphorus. Just like calcium, phosphorus is also very important in the body functioning and its body framework. So most of the body tissues are made up of phosphorus, like they have a large content of phosphorus, like bones and some other tissues. So have a look on sources, functions, and deficiency of phosphorus. In sources, plant sources of phosphorus are whole grain cereals, flour, legumes and pulses, vegetables, nuts. And animal sources of phosphorus: milk and milk products, egg, fish, liver. These are the animal sources of phosphorus. Functions of phosphorus: so phosphorus plays a vital role in calcification of bones and teeth. What is calcification? Calcification is the deposition of calcium in the bones. Like this is a process by which the bones uptake available calcium into them. Like this is like for the strengthening of the bone, and this is the calcification process is happens during the development and growth of human and animals. So this is very important like for the calcification of bones. Regulates energy released and acid base balance of body. So this is another very important function of phosphorus in the body. So it also facilitates absorption and transportation of nutrients. So it is not only required for body strengthening, but nutrients absorption and transportation also facilitated by phosphorus. Number 4, the constituent of essential compounds like DNA and RNA. Yes, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and ribonucleic acid, these are very important parts of cell overall like body that store information. So their main constituents are also phosphorus. Like in DNA there is phosphorus in the form of phosphoric acid. So these are the constituent of important biomolecules. Let's have a look what are the deficiency diseases when there is a deficiency of phosphorus. So the deficiency is rare, but it occurs. If it occurs, the symptoms are retarded growth, poor teeth and bone formation, weakness, anorexia, and pain in bones. So obviously the deficiency symptoms will be same, which will be like when the phosphorus will not present, their functions will not be allowed to happen. So same like things can be experienced in the person which are which is which have deficient amounts of phosphorus in the body. So our next mineral is iron. Iron is like the micro mineral in the category of main micronutrients. So it is very important nutrient, but it is required in like relatively less amounts as compared to calcium and phosphorus. So in the body, most of the iron is found in the blood, and rest of it is stored in organs like liver, spleen, and kidney. And these organs are the main source of the said nutrient. So most major function of iron is in blood, like the hemoglobin. The central element of heme group is iron. So this is an important mineral in the for the blood. Let's have a look on the sources. The plant sources are whole grain cereals, legumes, dark leafy vegetables, and dry fruits, while meat, fish, and poultry, these are animal sources of iron. Functions of iron. Number one, iron is a component of hemoglobin and it is necessary for carrying oxygen. Obviously, the central iron molecule act as a carrier of oxygen. So we know what is the importance of blood in our body. So same is for the uh, like uh, 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 the element iron is. Myoglobin is an iron containing protein required for muscle contraction. Yes, that's another important function of iron. And iron is an integral part of many enzymes which are required for metabolism, like it acts as cofactor for many of the enzymes. So as far as enzymes have availability of iron, they will work optimally, otherwise there will be a retard rate of enzyme assay in the body. Deficiency. The deficiency of iron leads to anemia. Anemia, it is common in women. What are the symptoms? So paleness of skin, tongue, lip, and conjunctiva, general fatigue, breathlessness, anorexia, headache, spoon-shaped nails, poor attentiveness and memory, lower physical work capability, and adverse effect on immune system. These are the deficiency symptoms of iron, which leads to anemia. So this is all about iron. There is one another thing that we must know about iron is a carrier of oxygen. Yes, we have discussed the same thing in the function of iron. So hemoglobin, which is a red colored compound present in red blood cells, contain iron in the heme part. Hemoglobin carries oxygen to various parts of the body and bring back carbon dioxide to the lungs. So if we say red blood cells carry oxygen, and they carry oxygenated blood, oxygen from lungs to tissues, and from tissues carbon dioxide towards the lungs. So how they carry these? The main carrier compound or carrier element in red blood cell is iron. So that's the importance of iron, because it is a carrier of oxygen. So this is about iron. Our next mineral is iodine. Iodine is also another micronutrient. Like its requirement in the body is very less, relatively less as compared to the macro one, but it's also very critical for many of the body functions and body regulations. So it is an essential element for normal growth and development of human body. It occurs widely in nature. So most of the iodine sources are natural sources. So plant sources are vegetables, fruits, and iodized salt, while animal sources include saltwater fish, shellfish, eggs, dairy products, meat, and poultry. The iodine content of food obtained from animals and plants depend upon the iodine in the animal's diet or in the soil in which plants are grown. So that's an important thing to understand while we are discussing the sources of iodine, because the sources that have iodine, the quantity they contain in them are very depending upon where they are growing, if they are plants, or where they are feeding or grazing if they are animals. So their environment, their locality, their soil determines how much iodine they carry. Now have a look on functions of iodine. So iodine is a component of thyroxine, hormone secreted by thyroid gland, regulates the rate of oxidation and metabolism within the cells, influences physical and mental growth. So iodine has mostly like regulatory functions. It is mostly relevant to like thyroxine, as it is discussed. So thyroid gland uh, secrete thyroxine, and thyroxine is very effective for body functions. So if there is less amount of iodine, there will be uh, like uh, uh, less thyroxine release, and body will be body functions or metabolism will be slow. Deficiency, the deficiency of iodine is very common mostly in women's, and it results in goiter. So what are the symptoms of goiter? Goiter is actually the enlargement of thyroid gland. We can see a pop, like a neck, swollen like neck in the patients that are goiter, that have goiter. So reduced mental function. Yes, when there is less activity of thyroxine and thyroid gland, there will be less mental growth, and we can see they have less slow metabolic processes. Sometimes they have a heavy body, they have slow metabolism process, so their body runs slowly. So these are the some deficiency symptoms of goiter. So here are some sources of calcium rich foods, iron rich foods, iodine rich foods, and phosphorus rich foods. So this was all about minerals. Hope so you understand better. So goodbye until our next topic.